Hi guys, this is Prem Mahakali. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to tell you about 3 simple yet most important things in handling a camera and getting good pictures. Most of the photographers do know this, but people who really want to get into photography and who are in the beginning level of photography have to understand this to get great pictures and click great pictures, as this is the first step to handle a camera. So I'll try making this a very short video, and I am sure that these are 3 simple things that just need an explanation and a background understanding to it. So let's get back to it, hitting the intro. Well, the literal meaning of photography is drawing of light. So if you have already understood that light is the main source of a photo to pop out or look, or well, light is one of the most important things in our life. So the 3 elements that I'm going to explain you are directly or indirectly related to light consumed by the camera or the lens of the camera. So these 3 elements are interlinked to each other as they walk parallel to each other, supporting each other. So if we jot down to 3 important things for a vehicle to work, it is engine, it is fuel, and it is battery. So these 3 elements do support each other, but if either of the element is taken out, the vehicle doesn't work. In the same way, in a camera, without shutter speed, ISO or f-stop, a picture cannot be clicked. So it is really very important to understand the meaning behind these, so you can click good pictures and play with them and bring out amazing pictures in the way you want, which might be ending up to be a unique style of your own. Well, while explaining these 3 simple and very important elements, I would start with shutter speed. So I would divide shutter speed into light and motion. Shutter speed can be simply considered as the speed of the eye of the camera to open and close and capture the picture. You can find this on your camera screens on the top, where it shows as 1 by a number. That means if it is 1 by 10, then the eye of the camera is open for 1/10 of a second. And if it's 1 by 200 or 1 by 300 or 1 by 4000, it is the eye of the camera is open for 1 by 200 or 300 or 4000 of a second. With the increasing value of the shutter speed, the light intake by the camera will be more, as the eye will be open for more amount of time. When it comes to motion, 1/200th of a shutter speed can capture way faster than 1/10th of a shutter speed, as the eye of the camera will be capturing by 1/200th of a second, which is very minute and which is very fast, whereas 1/10th of a second is way slower than the 1/200th of a second. So jotting down the whole concept of shutter speed, you have to only remember 2 points in shutter speed. That is, with the increasing shutter speed, the light consumption will be less and the motion freeze will be more. Whereas with the decreasing shutter speed, the light consumption will be more and the motion freeze will be less. If you really need a motion blur, you will have to put it at somewhere at 1/10th or 1/8th or 1/7th. Whereas if you have to freeze a motion, like if a person is running and if you have to freeze that person without any blurry image, you have to put it somewhere at 1 by 200, 1 by 180, 1 by 500 or so. And the second most important thing is f-stop. I would divide f-stop into light and the depth of field. F-stop is also something that is visible on your camera screens as f something with a decimal probably. F-stop just works very similar to your eye. It's like when you're closing your eye very partially, if you're looking at something, it's way darker than you open your eye wide enough and look at it. The more the f-stop value, that is, for example, if a camera is set for f8, 9 or more, the eye of the camera will be way small. So it will be consuming less amount of light and the picture will turn out to be dark. Whereas if the f-stop is somewhere around 2, 1.8, 1.4, the eye of the camera is wide open and a lot of light is consumed into the camera and it ends up to be a brighter picture. when it comes to depth of field, with the increasing f-stop, the dynamic range of the picture gets higher and higher. For example, for an f-stop of 20 or 18, the whole frame that you click will be in focus, whereas if you really need the depth in your photo and if you really need only your subject to be in focus and everything else to be out of focus, you need to decrease the f-stop. And if you're jotting down the whole concept of f-stop, with the increase in f-stop, the darkness of the photo is increased, as well as the focus of the photo is increased and the dynamic range of the photo is increased. With the decrease of the focal length, as with the decrease in the f-stop, the brightness in the photo increases, and it also adds a lot of depth of field for your photo. Number 3 is ISO. ISO is very simple. It is just an artificial light that the camera gives to the picture that you're clicking, whereas it is not actually in the frame, but camera induces an artificial light into the frame in the camera so that the output of the camera is not underexposed. I would suggest the lower the ISO, it is more better, because with the increasing ISO, the noise in the photo will be increased and there would be a lot of grain with a lot of ISO in it. Jotting down all these three elements, all these three elements work for the same reason, that is shutter speed is for light and speed, focal length is for light and depth of field, and ISO is for an artificial light. All these three things are commonly concentrating on the light. So with the concept properly understood, so though I have explained this much about it, it is really very simple while you're clicking a picture, as these three work parallelly and you can visually look at the difference when you're clicking a picture. You can click a long exposure picture, and you can also manage clicking a fast moving object without any motion blur. After understanding all of them, try shooting in manual mode, because boss, manual mode is the most enjoying, most creative, most experimental mode I have, or most of the photographers have really enjoyed shooting on. If you really have anything to suggest, if you really have anything to comment down, do comment down in the comment section. I'll give you my Instagram link in the description. Do check that out. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and do hit the like button if you like the video, and do share it to your fellow photographers whom you think this might help out. Yeah, I'll be coming up with these kind of informative videos too, which might also help many photographers from scratch. So yeah, I'll meet you back in the next video. Until then, peace out.